What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to this episode of Deep in the Bleachers. We got episode 9 going on here today. It is Wednesday, December 10th. I'm here with my guy, Jeremiah Kroom. I'm here with my guy, Dominic Gasper. And here this week, everybody, it was a massive week in sports this week. Tons of headlines going around for all the sports that we want to cover here: football, baseball, basketball, college football, UFC. So we got a loaded episode for y'all this week. And if y'all really rock with us, just a heads up too, we're testing stuff out on the fly as we go. I said it last week during the episode. The game breakdowns for NFL, they take way too long, and I know they do. We're trying to get better. Mostly me too. We all trying to get better about this, every single one. So we're gonna do this week is we're gonna break down the NFL games, not game by game, but we're just gonna go through some of the headlines, some of the big players that broke out this last week, maybe some teams that we want to pinpoint how they're doing, but we're just gonna get rid of all the fluff and just start doing that. We were doing that at first, and I think it worked to cut down time and make sure we can cover all of the topics that we want to cover. So we're going to go through that this week. We'll go through that first, and then we got a lot of NBA headlines that went down this last week as well. Like I said, college football playoff, the rankings officially came out for that, so we'll get into that a little bit. We had some MLB signings, and then we had UFC 323, where there was 2 championship fights. But obviously first, y'all know how we do. We gonna start with the NFL, and last week was a huge week for the NFL. First things first, I want to get Dom to start this off because he is probably the most excited person on this earth about Phillip Rivers going to the Colts, and he doesn't even like the Colts or Phillip Rivers. He's just so excited about it. So if y'all did not see it, 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, he been on the couch since 2020 with all him and his 37 kids. And he's coming back to the NFL. He signed for the Colts practice squad after the injury to Daniel Jones. And I'm going to let Dom rip this one off because he's smiling right here, smirking a little bit, even thinking about Phillip Rivers back in the
league. Phillip's making me want Ben to come back. Just all the unks need to come back and play football again. All the unks come back and play football again. No, my thing is mostly is like, okay, for one, also I think it's amazing that Phillip Rivers, I'm pretty sure, is also a grandpa now. I was reading that. I don't know if that's actually true or not.
He is.
He is? That's good.
He has a grandchild.
That's fantastic, bro. No, I think for me is I'm so excited because it just gives me that like 2010s-ish vibe of football. Like seeing Phillip Rivers going to be back on the field is going to give me childhood flashbacks like crazy. I think it's going to be great. Now, whether or not how well the man plays, I guess we'll just see. I mean, I don't doubt whatsoever that Phillip Rivers could still throw the football. He might be a little less mobile than he was a couple years ago. Did you guys see the funniest thing? The presser, they asked him about his weight. You guys see that?
No, what did he
say? He basically said, like, they asked him like how much he weighed. He's like, oh yeah, I definitely weigh more than last time. But he's like, I'm not really. He said, I'm not really trying to get away from anyone anyways. So he's like, gunslinging, bro, gunslinging. No, but I think it's great. I mean, he's going to be the oldest quarterback in the league again. Active quarterback in the league. I think it's going to be great, bro. I do love Phillip Rivers. I think he's hilarious, too. He's always been
90-yard
I was going to say.
Touchdown!
Yeah, I am definitely excited to see Phillip back out there. I think it's just going to be a little bit of warming, like kind of a throwback. Like, man, the Unks are back out there, bro.
The Unks are back out there.
The Unks are back.
Jerry, well, I mean, same thing for me. I mean, I'm excited, just like Dom said, about just to see a 44-year-old quarterback that hasn't played in 5 years. Like, that is just wild.
We all grew up watching. We all know Phillip Rivers. He's a great quarterback. Like, gotta love Phil.
Yeah, I don't exactly share the same excitement as you guys. I am excited to see him come back. Don't get me wrong. Phillip Rivers is that dude. I totally forgot, like, he did tear his ACL and meniscus. and then played in the AFC Championship game like the following week. So like he's that dude. Don't get me wrong, but he's a grandfather, bro. Like you don't
A
understand.
literal grandfather.
Like we said, there's a lot of young quarterbacks in the league that like need that opportunity to show what they can do. There's a lot of other people you can call up to at least try out for your team instead of a guy that hasn't been on the field in 5 years. Like, realistically, I get it. He's been in your system. He's a smart quarterback. He's still probably got a massive arm. This game isn't a game where, like, you can just stand in the pocket the whole time. Especially if you're down big, you got to be able to extend the pocket. People like Alec Pierce got to have a chance to get down the field. I don't get me wrong. I want it to work. I want a great storyline, and I want us to talk about something great for another week. But I don't
It could
see
go
how
very
this.
bad.
I don't think this is any steps closer to at least chasing Jacksonville for the division, and this may get you out of the playoffs. If I'm being completely honest, but Philip Rivers is back, so like can't really hate
I
it.
agree. I was gonna say I don't think that this really helps them at all chasing
And
the.
that was going to be the next question I asked is like, do they even like still have a chance at competing anything? How do you think this changes their offense? Like, what are they going to look like with Danny as opposed
Y'all
to
got
what
it.
they
I
look
already
like
said
now
what
with
I
Phil?
gotta
Got to
say.
see a week of it first to give my full opinion. But here's the one thing that I do know that is really interesting. So I guess Philip Rivers was the head coach of a high school team, of his son's high school team.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been reports about how his son's team runs the exact same offense, or at least extremely similar to what the Colts are running right now. When you think about that, you're like,
Honestly, makes sense. The Colts are
right.
very run heavy.
I was gonna say, when you think about that, you're like, damn, a high school team is learning an NFL playbook. That's kind of crazy. But then again, you have the guy who's probably the mastermind behind all the play calling, being the one to, which is Philip Rivers. And so talk about knowing the playbook inside and out. That man probably knows all of it. So I guess that's his biggest advantage, is that he's going to know that playbook like the back of his hand.
Do they have the same offensive coaching core that they had when
I don't
Philip was
think they
there
have the
last time
same
in
core,
2020?
but I don't think they have the same coaching core, but they have the same personnel. Like Pittman was there, I think. Jonathan Taylor had to be there. Like there's a lot of similar guys from 5 years ago they still work with.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I think Philip Rivers and the Colts. Let me look at what their schedule is actually here up and coming. Because if they have I'm not gonna say easy, but easier schedule and Philip is able to get by in the last few weeks, that could be huge for them building momentum. And now that I'm looking at it right now, their schedule is not easy, fellas.
I don't think it is.
So this next upcoming week, they have the Seahawks in Seattle. They're playing the Seahawks in Seattle for the first week. Then they have the Niners. Play the Niners the week after that. Then the week after that, they play the Jags. And then the week after that, they play the Texans. So they have all four are tough games there. None of them are gimmies. And then the last 2 weeks are heavy divisional matchups that have huge playoff implications for seeding.
I was about to say, if I'm not mistaken, they're all within like a game of each other.
Yes,
I think
the Texans and the
pretty
Colts
damn
are
sure.
8-5, and the Jags are 9-4. So all of them could very well be fighting for their playoff lives the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then you're going to have 44-year-old Philip Rivers rolling out there. So, kind of like Jerry said, I do agree. It's going to either go good or bad, and the likelihood is it's probably not going to be good. But
yeah, no, I'm more in it for the vibes than like.
Yeah, I'm in it for the vibes. That's what we talk about.
For how well it's gonna fit, yeah, I agree with you guys. Not as much, but shit, I'm in for the ride, bro.
Yeah, I'm in for the
Are
ride.
either of you in you guys' fantasy playoffs? Yes or no?
I'm in all three.
Okay, same, cool. Start Philip Rivers if you want to vibe.
What?
Come on down.
If you want a bad vibe, you start.
If you want to vibe, no, you're for vibes, right?
No, we're in it for
know
the
what?
viewing vibe, not for our
Bill,
money vibe.
Oh, I will start.
We better see a screenshot
No,
of the lineup with
No,
points on
Gabe
the
knows
board.
I have a league where my team's so good that I could put in fucking Tom Brady and get 0 points and stuff. I'll put Phillip in there.
I have an egregious amount of fantasy leagues. I have this year 8 fantasy
Oh my
football
gosh.
leagues. I made the playoffs in 6 of them.
There we go.
That's a pretty good hit rate, though.
Yeah,
That's a pretty good hit rate.
I went 3 for 3.
3 for 3.
Same. I went 3 for 3 too. Which is
I've
like
asked them. I've
very
asked them.
rare because I've seen all these posts on Instagram talk about how people just barely missed the playoffs and how people didn't have a chance, and I'm just sitting there like, can't be me, bro.
So Phillip Rivers and the Colts. That was the first big one. I'm pulling up the numbers right now. Don't get me excited to talk about this right here. I'm already excited. Shadur Sanders, baby. Throw it up. Throw it up. Everybody, Dom.
Nah, hey, Dom, respect it, bro. Respect it. 350, 4 tons, respect it,
up,
bro.
Dom. Throw it up, Dom. Let me pull up the exact numbers here for this one. He not throwing it up. 23 for 42, 364 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did throw an interception. The Browns did lose the football game. Let me put it that way.
Celebrate a loss. Come on.
I'm not celebrating the team in this regard. I'm celebrating Mr. Sanders, man. It's been a long time since I saw a quarterback do anything for my team. Anything at all.
Stefanski should have immediately after that game.
I'm going to turn this discussion from not am I happy, because of course I'm happy, to did that performance prove to the Browns, do you think, or should it have, that next year they should give him a shot as their starting quarterback for a full season of time?
I feel like it's more of a Stefanski thing, and I don't want to be the guy that says like, "Oh, Stefanski's hating on Shadur," because he's just managing a football team. Like he's not managing one person. So like the decisions he makes are his decisions, but the 2 point conversion is very questionable because you have no other play with Judkins but to run a wildcat run. And I get it; it looked like he was supposed to pitch that ball, and it probably would have been scored.
I was gonna say, dude, if it looked like it was gonna work.
Yeah, everybody was hating, crazy. Judkins just kind of ran a little far backwards.
No. Judkins couldn't like get the ball off right. There was some reason like he looked back and looked back again with the ball still in his hand, and he was like, "Oh shoot!" But I also do think that when your quarterback is going crazy for 364, 4 total touchdowns, like he's already rushed one in. He can do it again. Like I just don't see that part of it, but I do think they should give him a chance. But you also have Deshaun Watson, who nobody else wants, so he's gonna either have to sit on your bench or you got to put him out there. Either way,
or we cut him and we pay him $55 million for the year that he's owed.
I don't get what that would do though. Like if you can keep him in the game or keep him in the building for mentorship, do that. Like have him as a $50 million mentor.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? That's the problem. Is that the fact that I personally would rather just cut him and just let the money go. Like the money's the only thing holding it back from why he's not cut yet. If his salary was $10 million, he'd be gone already.
Oh, absolutely.
Like he's just too much of a head case to like keep in as a backup. Even like he's just always on something. I think that he's earned to like start all of next year. I at least think he earned the starting job for next year. Now, whether or not the Browns do something stupid and draft another quarterback is a complete toss-up because, I mean, we've seen crazier shit, I feel like. So,
yeah.
I do think the Browns should let him get a chance. I think he's proven that.
You're talking about Shadur, right?
Yes. Yeah. I thought you were talking about Watson at first.
No, I just wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page.
No.
Because I nodded my head no when he was like, he should start. I think he should start the whole year. I thought he was talking about Watson at first.
Bro, no. Dude, they shut up. I'll tell you that. I'll be the first one to tell you that. I agree with you, Gabe. Fuck the money at this point. Get rid of that man.
It's not doing nothing.
But yeah, no, I do think that Shadur should have played himself into a position where he should be top of the depth chart going into next year. But like I said, whether or not the Browns actually do that or they draft another quarterback, I honestly could see a world where they would draft a quarterback. But yeah, I think that the Browns should attack other part like old line, get some receiver help in there, and give it a run with him for a year and see what happens.
That's what I was gonna say too. Is the biggest thing I hear from everybody. It's got to be so glaringly obvious to the GM and the owner. Please, Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Barry, O line and receiver. Like the fact that Shador was even able to throw for 342. Even I don't care if we're playing the Titans, bro. I don't care. I know the Titans defense stinks. If you go purely off of the weapons that he has at his disposal and the O line that he has at his disposal, disposal.
They are
Nobody
disposable.
should. They are disposable. You're right. You can throw them motherfuckers in the garbage when you're done. God, get them going, bro.
Harold Fannin, Browns receiver.
Yeah, Harold Fannin is our best receiving option. That is no.
Oh, he's nice.
That is
to be
no
fair, that's
disrespect
not. Yeah.
at all to Harold Fannin. It's more so that he is our best receiving threat, and his job is also half to block.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, our receiver room is bad. We really have picks, too, where this year, I feel like the quarterback class was expected to be all the way up here, and now it just looks kind of average.
Yeah.
It looks kind of average. Like, there's a lot of guys, but they're all hard to grade. Like, Arch Manning might not even go to the league anymore this year, at least. Drew Aller has to go into the league this year, but he just came off huge injuries. Garrett Nussmeier underperformed, and LSU is unranked. Lenore Sellers, he underperformed, and South Carolina was way below 500. And then who's like some of the other main guys there? I mean, Mendoza came out of nowhere, and he's probably the best quarterback prospect.
Klubnik underperformed crazy.
Klubnik underperformed with all of them. Practically across the board, what people were expecting, they all underperformed. So I think based on that, too, alone, why not give Shador a chance? Like, Shador's shown you that he has the abilities. 100%.
Yeah, I would agree with you, bro.
I'm in agreement here. Yeah, I was about to say, I already said it. I feel like Deshaun is like an option that they hate going back to, but again, that dollar amount is the only reason they would. But it's clear that Dylan Gabriel isn't supposed to be there. Did you guys hear what his fiance was saying?
Yes.
Yes, bro.
And no shade to her. No shade to her
Nah,
at
Dylan
all.
was pillow talking, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, and I get it. Like, he's a quarterback that his time was cut short this season, due to an injury, kind of also due to his play. But you can't have your lady go on social media and talking about stuff that everybody knew you was talking about, bro.
Yeah, for all the people at home, what did she say? What did she say, Jerry?
She basically said that Dylan should have been starting, and the Browns, like, whoa, the Browns lost again. Like, whoop-de-doo, what a surprise. Shador is playing. Like, she's really doing everything, and I get it. That's her fiance. Like, of course, ride for your fiance. But, like, have some type of, like, timing with it. Like, if he's off the field or if he's off the team, say something like that. Don't say that while you're in the middle of the season.
He's still in the building.
Already, like, he probably will be in that building next year, too.
He will.
He's a rookie. So, like,
bro,
they're not going anywhere.
I was going to say, especially with how supportive Shador was of Dylan the whole time he was in, I feel like that's such a backhanded slap, bro. Like,
and everybody talked about it, too, because everybody wanted to look for some reason to think that Shador was mad or hating that he was benched. But, like, he said everything he was supposed to. He was an A1 QB at the podium. And don't get me wrong, Dylan was too, but, his girl kind of slipped a little bit.
Dylan did have something. This is a side thing. Earlier in the year,
Really?
he was talking. He made a side comment about he doesn't play quarterback like for clicks or something like that.
Which, I heard that.
That's seemingly a diss at Shador. Seemingly. Like, I don't know how else that could be construed that way. Maybe I'm taking that too far, but that felt like a dig at Shador.
Bro, Shador literally told the Browns fans to stop booing bro off the field. Like, he told them, y'all got to stop doing this, man. Like, when he's in, root for him. When I'm in, like, if I ever get in, root for me. Like, I feel like Shador has been very
He's been acting like a pro. He's been acting like a pro.
That's how you should play, especially because it's a team sport at the end of the day, bro. It is. Like, You win if you're in and you win, you win. If you're out and you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. It's like it's a team sport, bro.
For the next thing that we'll talk about, another one of the big things that happened last week, the Chiefs lost again. They're 6-7. They're below 500. I don't even know what their mathematical odds of making the playoffs are at this point. Incredibly low, regardless. So the Chiefs, they lost to, who was it this past week?
The Texans.
Yeah, Texans. Yep, and that was an ass beating, man. Mahomes.
Give me 1 second.
The fire. Now Crip's on fire.
Are we good?
The Crip fire, bro. Yo, this background.
I hope Jerry's house isn't on fire and I'm not laughing now.
This should be a legendary Instagram.
Oh, yeah, no, this is getting clipped. This is staying in and getting clipped because this is hilarious.
Him wait.
Yeah, we got to see what he's burning. We got to see what's burning in his kitchen, bro. Dom, what's your guess? You think somebody was making chicken, bro? You know that was mine. Might be frying chicken with olive oil. The oil going everywhere. Oh my god, Jerry, what got burnt, bro?
Okay.
What got burnt, Jerry?
All right, nothing got burnt. It was just my roommate was cooking chicken and the juice.
What did I say? I'm about to clip it, bro. Is he making it with olive oil? Is it olive oil?
It was the spray on olive oil, but yes.
Say it, bro.
So
I just called that, bro.
The juice just spilled in the oven and, smoke came out.
Yes, bro. I'm keeping this at Jerry. Jerry, you're going to die, bro. You're going to die laughing. I literally just said, I'm keeping it in there. This is hilarious. And Dom, so I learned how to cook way before Dom, but Dom put me on. Dom is great at grilling meats and things like that. One time I was over at his house, and I had been cooking for like 10 years. I'm like, bro, why is it every time I make chicken, like, it's always smoking like crazy? Yeah. He's like, bro, do you use olive oil? And I was like, yes. And he was like, it's because the smoke point of olive oil is just way too high. So the second the chicken gets hot, smoke just goes everywhere. And I brought that up during when you were going to check. I was like, Dom, what's your guess on what's burning? And I said chicken. For that reason. That's exactly what happened.
There we go.
Okay. All right, back to sports topics real quick. My bad, y'all. So Shedeur, main point I think for me, I think his play proved that he can obviously be a starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. I'll give that preface for the Cleveland Browns. And they at least give him some chances going into next season as well. Especially because, like I said, what he's shown as a pro, we all universally agreed he's been much better for the Browns organization. People were hating on him. Plain and simple. One of the huge headlines from last week as well, like we said, Kansas City Chiefs. So the Chiefs, they got absolutely railed last game. 20-10 was the score in that game, but Mahomes, I remember, had 3 picks. He couldn't do nothing. I think he threw for 160. 3 picks, and the Texans' defense is legit. Texans' defense is super legit. But for the sake of just the Chiefs alone, the Chiefs aren't making the playoffs anymore. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think they're making the playoffs anymore, and it's just incredibly surprising to me that we're sitting here at it's about to be 15, and the Chiefs are 6-7. Like, that is wild, man.
Yep. Sure is.
No, pick it up. I'm waiting for somebody to pick it up.
I was about to say, dog, yeah.
Yeah, dude, I saw a post today, and it was like, your childhood is still alive. Like, and it was going down the line. Like, the Chiefs are mid. Phillip Rivers is back. Aaron Rodgers is the 4 seed. And it was going right down the line. And I'm like, it was like the Browns and Raiders still suck.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw that, bro.
Oh, this is great, but no, yeah, it's hard to even. I wouldn't even say like the dynasty is over because Mahomes is still very young. I think that they just had a bad hand of cards this year, and they just didn't put it all together. They had some injuries. Obviously, the Rashid thing, he was out for the first, 6 or 7 weeks. And, yeah, I don't know. I think the Chiefs will be back next year, but it's not looking like they're going to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I think it's like a less than 10% chance. It might be less than 5% chance for them
Ooh.
making the playoffs. Um, I don't think their dynasty is over. I do think they have to do a lot of restructuring of this entire team. Travis Kelsey, he had questions about whether or not he was going to retire last year. I feel like this year, being the way it went, and like him having an incredible life outside of football, I don't see him coming back next year. And I feel like to supplement that, they need another like big time wide receiver or a running back that's like a solidified number
They
one.
need
Pacheco and Kareem Hunt don't do it when you're trying to get to or when you're trying to have a long stretch in the playoffs. Your defense is still there. Granted, like Houston's team is solid. It's not the best offense, but you still have Nico Collins, Christian Kirk, and Higgins as receiving threats, and they didn't do as much as I thought they were going to do. So you have a good team. Andy Reid, I don't think he's going to go anywhere, but for the dynasty to still continue, you got to do some work. You got to do some changing around because this team isn't going to win it anymore.
And yeah, I think the big thing, like you said, next year they need another receiver. You know who's going to be out there for practically free? The Chiefs could do a really funny thing next year. They could go get Tyreek back for pennies on the dollar.
I thought that's where they were going to do the moment like Tyreek got hurt because the thing about
I
Tyreek,
thought about that too right away.
Tyreek works with big arms. The one thing I didn't understand about Tyreek's decision going to Miami is Tua can't throw the ball 65, 70 yards like Patrick Mahomes can. And him going back to Patrick Mahomes or like to a team like Buffalo, which could use him as well, I feel like Tyreek is going to be dangerous. I as as much as I would love it, bro, he's too much. He's too much money. We got DK.
A
Trade
Rod
DK 30 mil.
family.
Bro, I promise you, Tyreek is
You
going
said
for like nothing.
wait, Dom. You said what?
I said A Rod to Tyreek would feed families.
A Rod's not coming back,
What
bro.
families? A family of two?
Shit, give me A Rod, bro. A Rod got an arm. I'll take A Rod back this second next year.
All right, we gotta get off. We gotta get back on topic, man. A Rod is just insane. But yeah, no, Chiefs are definitely in a lot of trouble right now.
Another team that is struggling as well, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles still have a solid record. They're still slated to be in a playoff spot. They're currently sitting at 8-5. But that last game against the Chargers, man, that was a really bad game. Hurts had plenty of costly mistakes. And then in the end of the game, A.J. Brown drops that ball in the end zone. And they lose that game versus the Chargers in overtime. Now, the Eagles didn't even have any reason to have any place in that game after Hurts had made all those mistakes. But the Eagles just don't look like the same Eagles as last year. And it looks like they're kind of following the same suit as the Chiefs, where it just doesn't feel like you're the same football team anymore. There's something different. You have similar coaching staff, similar personnel, but something's not rolling.
Yeah, the Eagles are sorry. I love it, bro. Jalen Hurts is not good, and I hope that people start to wake up to this. The fact that Jalen Hurts puts up decent numbers sometimes because of the system he's in, and all those rushing touchdowns boosts his overall outlook. He's never been a 4,000-yard passer before in his life, and look at the weapons he has. Like that, that's great. Like Justin Herbert has passed for over 5K, and his weapons are significantly worse than Jalen Hurts. Yeah, the Eagles, I think it was only a matter of time before their structure kind of started to fall because they have one go-to thing. Let's get it to fourth and short. Let's push forward. Let's manage these first downs and just barely get by. And you can't win games without explosiveness. And when you have a guy who has a noodle arm and can't get his two premier wide receivers the ball, it will catch up to you eventually when your running back isn't going for 2K.
Yeah, a lot of people are blaming their offensive coordinator, and there is some blame to go to him because he does botch calls at times, especially like third down, key third downs, like key red zone drives and stuff like that. They don't have a lot of success, but Jalen Hurts is, I won't say process, just like his decision making sometimes can be very, very off. Like there's a lot of times where AJ Brown and DeAndre, or not DeAndre, DeAndre Smith. What am I talking about? DeAndre
Devon,
Smith were Devontae Smith. Oh my goodness, DeAndre Smith. Oh my gosh.
you're
Yeah,
thinking
no.
DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, I'm thinking of DeAndre Swift. It's too many people.
DeAndre Swift is out there.
He is looking good too. But no, there were a lot of times where Smith and AJ were open on like his second or third read of the play, and he'll just tuck it and run, and like it'll be for like a 6 or 7 yard gain, but the play is designed for you to throw a ball to somebody that's open, and if you're not going with the play design, and then you have so many picks and stuff like that. I did love it because in two of my leagues, I needed Jalen Hurts to get less than 17. And the biggest time I was sweating was before that game. So I didn't have to worry about it. But he looks absolutely atrocious. And this is the one part of the year where they got good last year. They picked it up late in the year and they went on a hot streak going into the postseason. Now you give the Cowboys, who nobody thought could have a chance, actually have a chance to come back and take the division from you.
Shit, you said
I'm
less than 17. He had less than 1 point.
Yeah, no, like that's why I said I wasn't sweat. The most part of the time I was sweating was before that game because when the game started and it was turnover after pick
Bro,
after fumble, like
a 0.4
I'm
is
good.
diabolical.
dude. He had -4 fantasy points for like the whole first half,
0.4 is just crazy. That's like,
bro.
mm.
Also, I'm
Yeah,
gonna acknowledge it. I hate that within the first 30 minutes we've said 6 or 7, unironically, like 4 times already. I
You
hate
didn't
that
actually
it's.
acknowledge it, but
he said you
I
didn't.
sad.
I hate that the meme is so applicable to things that go on during daily life, and that's why it can't die yet. Like, why have we actually said it 4 times? Okay,
Because everybody that wants to dunk wants to be 6'7".
bro. All right, next big thing. So last week, the Carolina Panthers did not play. But this is one of the things Dom want to talk about. You want to talk about the Carolina Panthers, man. I think all of us on this pod love the Carolina Panthers. After the Buccaneers' last game, the Carolina Panthers and the Bucks are currently tied for first, based on record. Now, I don't know if they played yet this year. Let
They
me
have, I
check
think,
that.
Bucks got him.
Buccaneers, Panthers. So we had here. I'm looking through.
I thought
They
Bucks
have
got one.
not. They
No,
have not played yet this year. So these last 3 weeks, actually, the Bucks and the Panthers they play each other twice. So you have one meeting that's going to be in Tampa, and then you have one meeting that's going to be in Carolina. And then the first one is this upcoming week. The last one is the very last week of the NFL season. So that's a banger. I love that. But like I said, both of them sitting at 7-6. I really think if the Panthers make it in, they might be able to upset somebody. If you get good Bryce. If you get good Bryce.
You gotta
If
get.
you get Bryce Young, if he wakes up on Wild Card Sunday, if they make it, and he says, I want to be good at football today, then the Panthers have a chance to upset some teams. So I want to hear, do you guys think the Panthers can do anything, actually, if they make it? Now, that's not to say I think they're going to be winning a Super Bowl or competing for a Super Bowl, but I get some great underdog vibes coming off that Panthers team. And I don't think they're going to get smacked up. I really don't if they make it.
I think it's great the fact that they're making this a race now. I mean, nobody. There was a point in the year where the Panthers not even thought about to make the playoffs, and the Bucks were kind of running. I mean, Baker Mayfield was getting MVP talks for a little bit, and the Bucks offense was insane for those first 5-6 weeks. And like you said, I think you said it perfectly. I think it's all going to come down. Bryce is a big X factor in all of this because when he plays well, I mean, we see what the Panthers can do. They have blown teams out. Like when Bryce is playing well, they've shown the ability to blow teams out. I think they're a really well coached football team. I think Dave Canales is doing a great job. It's only his second year there. I would agree with you, Gabe. I think that the Panthers could definitely upset someone if they get there. We just got to see what happens here down the stretch and who ends up taking that division, because they're only going to get one team in for sure, because they're only 7-6. Like I think that's what they're both 7-6.
Mm-hmm. Both
Yeah,
7 and
there's
6.
two teams in, especially because in the NFC right now, the Bears are the seventh seed and they're 9-4, which is just a whole nother level. Like
That's
that,
the next thing we gonna
yeah,
talk about for
that's
sure.
so crazy. But yeah, I do like the Panthers. They have a solid team. That 1-2 punch at running has been really effective, and they could definitely make some noise.
Yeah, definitely. If they get in, they can definitely upset people. The one thing about it, or the couple things about it, the first being they've already beaten the Rams, who I think is the best team in the NFC, and that was a few weeks ago. And the Rams didn't play bad. Stafford had 2 interceptions, but he also had a couple of touchdowns, and they scored 28 points. And Carolina still beat them. So they showed that no matter who it is, they're gonna come out and play. They're not gonna be scared. And also, they have a team structure of a great team right now. You have two great running backs. You have a quarterback who's just now getting hot at the perfect time of the season. You have a wide receiver who's still building his confidence, but you have others who are now starting to follow suit a little bit. Not saying a whole lot. You notice the wide receiver core still need a lot of help, but they follow suit a little bit. And then you have a defense who is forcing a lot more turnovers now. J.C. Horn,
He's a dog.
he
bro.
is a
He's
dog.
a
And I
dog.
love seeing like cornerbacks have great years because a lot of times they get a lot of hate and they also don't stick around for too long. They have like a shorter prime compared to other positions. But JC Horn is playing great. The defense all around is getting turnovers, getting stops and stuff like that. So I think they definitely have a good chance if they get in. Like Dom said, they won't have a chance to get a wild card spot. NFC is just too top heavy. But the Bucks are derailing right now, and the only person saving is Baker Mayfield. I don't know.
He hasn't been saving it. He has not been saving the
I
train,
was gonna
man.
say it's really just it's just the perfect trend right now. The Panthers are getting hot and the Bucks are getting cold, and
Yeah,
it's that time of the year. You got to
And they play twice in the last 3 weeks, so that's gonna be
is
cinema for
be
that
great.
division, boys.
I haven't heard anything about Mike Evans. Is he going to be like
He's
out for
back.
the
He's
rest of the
supposed
season?
to
He's
return.
back.
He is supposed
Okay.
to return. Yep.
Mike
Okay.
He only needs 840 yards in the
uh,
last like 3 weeks, right? So you
Taylor
get a rack. I mean,
back too. That's
easy
not
money, bro.
McMillan's back too.
And then as
Oh yeah, Evans
well,
was back. Yeah.
just to give a quick update, because as we were talking about it, like Dom just brought up, the 7th seed, the very last seed in the NFC is the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
And the Chicago Bears definitely ain't
They
last wild card. They're a
last
lot
week.
better than
Maybe
that.
some,
So to give a quick update on the standings, so right now out of the AFC, you got the Broncos as the 1 seed in the AFC, the Patriots as the 2 seed in the AFC, Jaguars at 3, Steelers at 4, Chargers at 5, Bills at 6, and the Texans at 7. And then the teams outside looking in right now, you have the Colts as they're trying to fight for their division still. Jaguars up a game on them, the Ravens, and the Chiefs. Those are the first 3 out. For the NFC, you got the Rams at 1, Packers at 2, Eagles at 3, Buccaneers at 4, Seahawks at 5, Niners at 6, and the Bears at 7. Out of the NFC, like I said, the Rams 10-3, Packers are 9-3-1, the Eagles are 8-5, Buccaneers are 7-6, Seahawks are 10-3 as the 5 seed. That is like just as crazy as the Bears being 9-4 at the 7, and then the Bears, excuse me, and the Niners are 9-4 at the 6. And the teams outside looking in right now, as of right now, the Lions don't hold a spot in the playoffs, still sitting at 8-5. And then you got the Panthers being the next one out as the 9 seed at 7-6, and the Cowboys as the 10 at 6-1. So that's the current NFL playoff standings as they stand. And the NFC, like we said, so much talent in the NFC. Like, this brings up what I'm going to catapult the next discussion to be. Let's run through some of these teams. Do you think they're contenders? Do you think they're pretenders? And why? So I'm going to give a couple teams here. First team I will name, New England Patriots. Contenders or pretenders? What do y'all think?
I am gonna say the Patriots are pretenders. Now you can call me crazy if you want. I know they have a really good record, but I am just skeptical based upon the fact that they have played absolutely nobody. If you go ahead
That's
and
true.
pull up the draft for next year and you look at those top 10 teams, I guarantee you the Patriots have played 8 of them.
Played 8 of them at
Yeah,
least.
I was gonna say. So it's like it's not that I'm asleep. Drake May is a great quarterback. He's very very good. I'm just more so worried about the fact that I don't think they're as complete of a team as maybe some people think they are. And I think there's just better teams in the AFC. Um, so I'm going to say the Patriots are pretenders at the moment.
Jerry, go ahead, man. You were smiling when he started
Yeah,
talking at first.
Dom, I completely disagree with you, man. I hate to say it, but like the Patriots are back. Like they have so many great wins, and I get it. It's from bad teams.
Do
You
they?
should you should beat up what?
You said they
Their
have,
best win is they beat the crap out of the Panthers early on. They beat the Buccaneers and they beat the
did.
Bills.
They
No,
lost.
yeah, I'm saying these wins aren't like close though. Like you had a
They are.
33-15 against the Giants. You had 27-14 against the Jets. You had 32-13 against the Browns. You had 31-13 against the Titans.
All right,
These are
name
bad
the
teams.
other ones. Name the other ones. What's the other ones look like, Jerry?
They're close.
26-20, 28-23, but those are against the Bengals and the Bucks. So
Yes, they're poop.
they
Bengals have 5 wins.
the Bengals are not poop anymore, okay?
They are.
It
And
was
the
the
Bucks,
Bengals with no Joe.
either way, okay. Let me get to my
No,
stats, all
like I was
right?
just saying, I want
No, I'm still letting you cook. I'm just doing it to
No,
mess with
you're
you pretty
you're
much.
you're lowering the heat right now, okay? Let me cook, man.
Yeah,
All right.
piggyback up, piggyback
They
up.
are second in the league in passing yards, and everybody wants to talk about Drake May's passing completion. He's number one with 70% plus passing completions. He's also averaging almost 250 yards passing the ball, which is second in the league right now. They are top five. No, I'm sorry, top eight in both offense and defensive yards, and they're both top five in points scored and points allowed. So Mike Vrabel has them back to a disciplined Patriots team where they're not going to give the ball away. They're going to control the ball with 2 or 3 running backs, depending on Antonio Gibson, and then they're going to make sure that Drake May just manages the game the way he's supposed to. I
I
think they are
will.
contenders.
I will say I have a middle ground opinion. I'll meet you on the middle. The thing you bring up, Jerry, about how they don't turn the ball over and they're well coached, that is a huge indicator to the plus side of things. Now I say I have a middle ground answer because, and I feel like Dom kind of feels this way too. I'm just pushing towards the ladder of their pretenders, not because of what they've shown me, what they do bad, but because they haven't shown me they play an elite team. Other than the Bills game, I'll give you the Bills game. They haven't been tested a ton of times this year to the point where I just don't know if I can trust it. Like, with all due respect to them beating the shit out of the Jets and the Browns and the Bengals with Joe Burrow, I could not care less. Could not give a singular fuck. Like, I don't care. Them beating the crap out of the Panthers, too, at the beginning of the year, Bryce Young woke up that day and decided he wasn't going to be good. So
doesn't count.
he's 50-50, too, so it doesn't count. It doesn't count. On a real note, though, like I said, those huge victories that they have, they're against teams that I have zero confidence in anyway. Zero. So I just wish I saw them get tested more times. Like I also think that let me look at the other ones. You brought up the big ones. You brought up the big games, which completely agree with you. They had some games where they beat the crap out of people.
I did intentionally leave some close games out.
Yeah. Now that's where I'm going right now. I'm gonna pull up their schedule and I'm
They
gonna bring
also
up a
lost
couple of the close games.
for a second.
If I can find them, geez, where are they at in here?
They lost
Standings.
so they're only 2
Yeah, but
Patriots.
everybody's
The
lost to
Raiders-
somebody
So-
though. Like
So these are the close ones, okay? Falcons, ass. We agree?
Yeah, they're
Yes.
bad.
24-23. Giants, they did beat the crap out of. Okay, Bengals, ass. 26-20 versus the Bengals. Buccaneers, the Buccaneers looked horrible offensively that week. And they needed 2 Travion Henderson 65-yard touchdowns to win that game.
they got it though.
28-23.
They
Then-
got it though.
Other games, they beat the Titans beat the crap out of them. Okay, cool. The week before, you only beat the Saints by 6 points.
Dude, like I can't believe this is their schedule. You're literally naming every single team that's
The Raiders beat the Patriots. The Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders
Steelers,
beat the
Patriots.
The Steelers beat the Patriots. And you guys are Steelers fans. Like, we know the Steelers should probably not be beating the Patriots.
Patriots in the playoffs. That'd be my dream.
And then you also have their game versus the Dolphins where they only beat the Dolphins by 6 points. And they let the Dolphins put up 27 points on them. So they're just like, I don't know if they're good or not, but I'm going to push towards the side of their pretenders because they didn't get tested enough. They didn't get tested enough. But they are extremely well coached, and they do have a great turnover differential. And I actually believe in their personnel on offense and defense. I think the wild card for that, they're going to have a bye probably.
Yeah,
their division is locked because who's second? The Bills?
The Bears.
And I think the Bills don't.
Broncos. The
Broncos are second, but no, the Broncos are first in the AFC.
You get five now, though.
I meant for their sorry, my apologies. But yeah, whatever their first playoff matchup is, whatever they show during that game, that's going to be huge for the stepping stone of are they contenders or pretenders. Of course.
Right now, it would be the Houston Texans.
Texans defense might cause them some issues, bro. Texans defense is nasty. All right, next team up here. I'm going to ask, let's see. Do we think the Jacksonville Jaguars contenders or pretenders?
See, I am way more confident in the Jaguars than I am the Patriots. I will say that right now. I think that we've seen now, though. So I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna say, I think the Jaguars can be contenders. Now, when I say that when my guy Trevor Lawrence shows up to play football, that's when they could be a contender. Because
my God, Trevor's your guy and not your guy week by week.
Yeah, dude, exactly. Because that's the thing though, is when Trevor Lawrence shows up and he doesn't turn the ball over, the Jaguars have shown that they can dominate games. Now, when he's out there throwing 2-3 picks in a game and they're winning by 3 points, yeah, it makes sense when you turn the ball over 3 times that you're squeaking by. This past week, who did they just play this past week? They won very handedly.
They beat the Colts.
They slaughtered the Colts. And I know Daniel Jones went down early, but there was no faults on offense. They put up 31 points, I think, right? T-Law didn't turn the ball over once, and he had a great game. So I think that the Jaguars, how far they can get is how far Trevor Lawrence will take them, because the rest of the team is good and good enough to win a game. They just need their quarterback to show up. So I'm going to say the Jags are contenders. I'm going to say they're contenders.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I love it. I love the confidence. I'm not as confident, but I do still think I'm on the side of contention. Like you said, like Trevor, it all depends on what Trevor's doing. Travis Etienne's always going to be there. Tootin's a great running back too. And then you have solid receivers. Jacoby Myers has had touchdowns in the last 3 games. Brian Thomas Jr. is coming back, had a great catch, great deep ball. So it's never going to be about the Jacksonville Jaguars surrounding core, because their surrounding core has absolutely been amazing. Like their defense has, I think, still the number one or has the most amount of turnovers. Not sure about that, but they got to be up there. The one thing about it is Trevor Lawrence is such a turnover-prone guy when he is in the zone of turning over the ball. And you can go back to the first playoff game he was in against the Chargers. He was down 27-0 at half with 4 interceptions, no touchdowns. He came back and won that with 4 touchdowns in the second half and a game-winning field goal. So it's literally a tale of 2 halves to Trevor Lawrence. You don't know what's gonna get. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Sometime maybe good, sometime maybe shit.
I agree.
So it's literally what he is, and the Jags. The only thing is though, I don't see them losing. Really, like I think they could beat every other team except for the Broncos, and I just think the Broncos defense is just too good for them. But Every other team, they've got a chance for sure.
Y'all
Yeah.
know what I'm about to say.
I already know.
Y'all know what I'm about to say.
You're a Jags hate watch. We know.
For real, bro.
Y'all know what
Straight
I'm
down
about
the
to
drain.
Okay, the Jaguars. I'm just gonna make this quick because I've said it many times. I wanted to hear your guys' honest opinions because you guys are known Jaguar supporters. So I wanted to see where the line is at. If y'all were really gassing it, or if you come back down to earth a little bit. My own opinion on the Jaguars is I just think point blank period, bottom line, it speaks to exactly the point that you guys both said. The fact that Trevor Lawrence is sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit, you're pretenders to me. Simple as that. Your quarterback who's manning the ship is sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. There you go. Jaguars.
So,
Pretender.
do you have more confidence in the Bears than you do the Jaguars?
Most definitely. Yes. The thing is their conference is harder. Their conference is a much harder path for them to go
Yeah.
anywhere. But
Yeah.
if you ask me who's a better football team, the Chicago Bears, the Jacksonville Jaguars, I would say the Chicago Bears. I think they both have great offensive play calling minds that run the show. Liam Cohen deserves all of his flowers. He's a great play caller. He's a great head coach, like Liam Cohen. And obviously for the Bears, Ben Johnson as well. But I just feel like I trust the Bears personnel more. And that's like the whole entire reason I don't like the Jaguars. I just don't like their personnel. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I just don't like their personnel.
Is it
Like
because you don't know them? Because
I
not a
do
whole
know
lot of
them.
people know about Jags players, bro.
I do know them.
Do you know about a
I'm not.
Ken?
I was literally gonna say him first. Don't you dare question my. Foyesade is
Lewis is
cold. I'm
dog.
not asleep on Foyesade, bro. Foyesade is nasty. He's great on defense. They still have. I guess the biggest question. I don't know actually anybody from their trenches. I
That's what I'm
won't
saying.
lie.
They have
I won't lie to you on that. I don't know
you
anybody
know
in their
Tariq Armstead
trenches.
from
Yeah,
the Niners. You know
for
Armstead.
sure.
You know Josh Hines Allen. You know Trayvon
Oh, Josh
Walker.
Hines Allen, they do. Hey, he's a great edge rusher.
Yeah,
I
Ted
just
Trayvon
feel,
Ball.
I
Walker,
just
number
forget he
one.
exists sometimes. Trayvon is a sleeper. See, okay, it's
See,
people that I actually
yeah,
forget
exactly,
about. But
exactly.
again, Trevor Lawrence, sometime maybe good, sometime maybe shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do one more team here, and then we'll move on to we'll do some college football. Cause like I said, we got playoff week coming up. This one here. Let's see. What do you guys think about this one? This one I actually am really interested in seeing. Seattle Seahawks, contenders or pretenders?
I lean contenders.
It's closed, man.
They've shown their flaws, but their defense, like you obviously the saying, we've heard this many times: defense wins championships. That Seattle defense is a defensive or a championship winning defense. Um, it's more so. It's like we've seen Sam Darnold struggle this year at times, but he's been for the most part very, very good. So as long as that offense can do their thing, uh, I think that the Seahawks definitely have a chance to knock off anyone over there. To be honest, so yeah, I would nod them towards the contender side.
What you got, Jerry? What you think?
I'd say they're definite contenders if they get in. The thing about Seattle is they essentially have no holes. Their offensive line is good. They have two great running backs, in which you clearly seen over the fantasy season. Kenneth Walker gets no love at all. But they got Rashid Shaheed, which is absolutely perfect for their offense. Pair him up, a huge deep threat on the other side of JSN, which is amazing. And then their defense is absolutely incredible. They have one of the most complete teams in the NFC. It's just about getting there. The Lions are 2 games behind them. And let's check their schedule. Don't really know their schedule. They've got the Colts coming up, which, first game with Phillip Rivers, that might be an easy win for them. And then you got the Rams, you have the Panthers, and the 49ers. All three are in the playoffs. Well, are in contention for the playoffs right now.
They're in the
NFC.
race,
Yeah.
right?
So it's not going to be easy, and they very well could get ran up on by the Lions. But I think if they get in, they're going to be dangerous, and they could essentially, a little hot take, they might make the NFC Championship game.
Hey, I don't hate that take. My personal take, I would agree. I think the Seattle Seahawks are definitely contenders. I think that they haven't had, like how we said with the Patriots, they haven't had a ton of amazing teams that they've actually played. Now, they had that war with the Rams that they lost by 2 points. But some of the other teams that they came out and played against played well. They beat the Jaguars, held the Jaguars to 12 points. They played the Niners. The Niners, they ended up losing, or Seahawks lost that game to the Niners, but that came down to the last drive. Defense held the Niners to 17 points. You had them beating the Texans earlier on during this year. And then when they were playing the bad teams, recently, they're beating the living shit out of them. The last couple weeks, so they had Seahawks had 26 points 2 weeks ago, 37 points last week. So that's a combined total of what? That's 63 points. And their opponents have combined for a total of 9 points to their 63 the last 2 weeks when they're playing the Vikings and the Falcons. So, again, I know the Vikings and the Falcons, awful. Not good football teams. But when you're beating the crap out of them handedly like that, and you also have a resume where you have more than one game, like the Patriots getting the Bills, where you've shown that you can compete with these great teams, even if you're not winning, you've been tested, you've shown that you compete with these guys. I think I see the Seahawks as contenders. And just like to Jerry's point as well, they have no holes as a football team. The line is good. They're well coached. They utilize their players the right way. They have a good running game. I think all the guys are confident in Sam Darnold in that locker room to take them somewhere, and the defense makes plays. So I think them, for sure, I see them being contenders. Now, this last week as well, on the college football side of things, we had conference championship weekend. So I am still sad that we lost to the Indiana Hoosiers because I never thought in my life I'd witness us lose to the Indiana Hoosiers. Shout out Kurt Signetti, though. Kurt Signetti, this is just a side point. Kurt Signetti is probably already one of the top 10 college football head coaches of all time at turning around a program. I'm not going to say in terms of your record, in terms of your national championships, whatever. Turning a program around and changing the culture, he is a top 10 college football head coach of all time already. My personal opinion. Shout out to Kurt Signetti for that one. We'll get into that game a little bit more. But as of right now, so the last college football playoff rankings that they put out, Indiana comes out at number 1 after their victory versus Ohio State. Ohio State is at 2, Georgia is at 3, Texas Tech is at 4, Oregon at 5, and then the rest as follows is Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama, Miami, and then the final 2 to round out the top 12. We got Tulane and James Madison. Now, I personally, I don't know about y'all, I am so excited for the college football playoffs. I love the college football playoffs. I don't care if JMU or Tulane probably do nothing, or half of the teams that are in there probably do nothing. Something about it makes me excited that Tulane and James Madison can compete for a national championship. And that's why they made the 12-team playoff. So I personally am super excited. I guess my biggest question for y'all is, we're all OSU fans. I'm going to be honest, I don't know about y'all. I still think OSU is going to win the national championship. I don't even think that's bias. I know Indiana got us. But that just, man, I don't want to talk about that. Who are y'all's biggest contenders that you really think have a chance during this college football playoff? Truly have a chance.
You know what I love? I know this is like a little bit of a side note. But when you just look at the bracket, there's like probably 5 or 6 teams in there that nobody even thought had a shot at making the top 12, which I love it, bro. Like you said, I think that's just, it's going to make for, the 12-team playoff thing is the best thing that they've done in a long time. It just makes it so much more exciting. But as for who I think has a shot, I mean, we know Indiana's got a shot. The Buckeyes definitely.
Of course.
I 100% agree with you. Still think that they're the favorite to win. And then honestly, after that, I would say Georgia still has a chance to win. Honestly, outside of that, I'm not giving a lot of the other teams much of a shot.
Outside of the ones you named before Jerry goes, I will say, I think Texas Tech also still has.
That was one that I was like, I was like,
because they are so well rounded and they have other than Caleb Downs, the next best defensive player in the country on their team. That linebacker they have is a dog. He is in the Heisman race. Let me give this dude his respect because I can't remember his name right now, and that completely defeats the point. It's literally just because he's on Texas Tech right now that I can't remember his name. I was gonna say Rodriguez, but I wanted to make 100% sure. Jacob Rodriguez. So Jacob Rodriguez is a different animal. I think he mans that Texas Tech's defense so well. They've been holding teams to low scores for weeks on end now because of Jacob Rodriguez. And their offense is still great as well. Texas Tech always runs that West Coast style air raid where they're airing the ball down the field. And I think with the way the playoff is this year in terms of the talent, outside of like Ohio State and Indiana, they've shown they can air the ball out, of course, with Mendoza. There's not a ton of teams out there that are airing the rock out like that right now that have a defense to match. I also think Oregon, they always have a chance. I think Dan Lanning is great. Dante Moore is great. They've still done a solid job this year with their one biggest loss kind of just being Indiana. And then I think Bama just always has a chance as well. No matter what. It's Bama. I don't care if Saban not there anymore and they just got dogged. It's not saying that I think they have the lowest chance out of anybody out of the teams I just said, but I think they're the next team, the last team that you probably think, okay, these guys have a chance.
I was gonna say, I think I would say Oregon too. That's one I didn't say that I would also give a chance for sure.
Yeah, Jerry, we covered a lot, bro, but pretty much.
You guys covered everything. I mean, I ain't got nothing left. The only thing I will say is the thing about the college football playoff. It's incredible that they have 12 teams instead of 4. Not only do you get like a lot more programs and a lot more fans involved, it also gives more exposure to teams like Tulane and James Madison. Me, OSU fan, I haven't watched a second of Tulane or James Madison football this year. But to see them in the playoffs because they won their conference is great. The one thing I do think is if they aren't competitive, the bracket and the structure is going to be completely criticized, and it's going to be for all the right reasons. Because, of course, you want teams to be in a conference. Everybody who's like defending Notre Dame, shut up, get in a conference. I don't care. Understand that things aren't going to be handed out to you just because you're Notre Dame. But you also have to keep it competitive as possible. Tulane and James Madison, perfect programs, love them. I don't think James Madison could compete with Oregon. I would say the same for Tulane if Lane Kiffin was still at Ole Miss. Now, Tulane really has a chance to save the bracket because if they do upset Ole Miss, people are going to be like, "Hey, this bracket kind of works. Having a team from each conference makes sense." But if next year comes and the two teams, Tulane and James Madison, aren't like competitive this year, and then you have two teams kind of similar next year who they win their conference, but they're not as competitive. It's going to be hard for the committee to do the same thing next year and, take the same amount of criticism for putting these teams
Agreed.
in.
And I think, sorry, go ahead, Dom. Go ahead.
I was going to say, we didn't even bring up the fact the biggest team they got snubbed was Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame, Texas got snubbed. Who was it? BYU. Of course, BYU played themselves out of it, but BYU's out. There's a lot of great teams that probably would win head-to-head battles against Tulane and James Madison. They just weren't top of their conference.
Right. Yep.
I will say James Madison, so they jumped crazy. They jumped like 10 spots after they won the conference. But I think this is also kind of a testing stage, too, for college football. Because nobody really, again, it's like James Madison hasn't had the ability to play a team that was that amazing. When you got to the other side of things from beforehand, before it was a 12-team playoff, you had teams like UCF. Remember, they went undefeated. They claimed themselves as national championships from their university. Nobody, and then they got to their bowl game and they played a team that was barely just out of the playoffs. I don't even remember exactly who it was, but they beat a top dog right after that when people were criticizing them heavily for it. So sometimes there's teams like that here and there where even though you're in a smaller conference, you can still compete and they're giving them the platform to at least try.
Don't get me wrong. James Madison has been balling lately. Or not lately, the entire season, to be honest with you. They're overall scores. They lost once to Louisville earlier in the season, but their total scores for the entire year, 47, 20, no, 47, 14, 31, 35, 14, 24, 63, 52, 35, 58, 24,
They're
and
putting a lot of
59.
points.
They're putting up
They
buckets.
have no issue putting up points whatsoever.
They're gonna have to score a lot. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Their defense isn't gonna hold many points, but their offense can create a whole bunch of spark plays, which is good to see.
And in terms of last week's championship games as well, we talked about it last week in the previous episode. We said Texas Tech we think would come out. They beat IU the first time. They kind of repeated the ass beating again. When it got down to business with Georgia and Bama. Now, Bama, me saying they could still do something is very loose. That's just because they're Bama. Like, Georgia really showed Bama has so many holes on their football team. Ty Simpson was not making the right decisions at quarterback. He was missing tons of throws. It seemed like they were kind of out of whack and they just weren't on the same page together. Coaching staff, players, everything. It just felt like that was a game where Bama kind of got exposed a little bit. For the case of Georgia, Georgia's defense is insane. Georgia's defense is incredible. They held Bama in check the entire game. Their quarterback play was great. They did a stellar job during that game versus Alabama. For Indiana, Ohio State, I think during that game, y'all can give your take on this one too, of course, but I feel like what happened that game, I can't even explain it. We just got out coached. I think we simply put just got out coached. I think when the Buckeyes got into the red zone, we were used to all year them being so efficient and getting things done, and Indiana just threw them out of whack every time they got into the red zone. And that was the first time I saw that happen to the Ohio State team this year. We got out coached. That's my opinion on that game. I think the talent, OSU has the edge on Indiana, and that's not disrespect to Indiana. They are working with, I think, not a singular 5-star in their starters. Not one. OSU is loaded with talent everywhere, top to bottom, but we got outcoached.
Is that actually true?
I think they don't have a single 5-star that they have on their football team starting.
Yeah, absolutely insane. And they were 13-0.
I'm pretty sure. You can try and fact check me here. If they have any, they have less than 2 or 3. If they have any.
The Indiana football Hoosiers have 0 5-star recruits on their current roster.
Wow.
0. Not a single one.
Wow, dude. That's
not a single one.
Impressive, bro. I did not know that.
That's what I mean with we got out coached. Sig is incredible, bro. Signetti is an incredible fucking football coach.
I'll tell you what, that won't be the same case for next year because Indiana's going to pull in a lot of recruits.
Bro.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And James Madison, when Sig was at James Madison last year, I think they didn't have a single 4-star at James Madison when Sig did what they did last year at James Madison.
Oh, look at him now.
He builds cultures. I have so much respect for Kurt Signetti.
That's crazy, bro.
So much.
I would have never guessed that. But, shout out to Indiana. They did their thing. I think I completely agree with you, Gabe. That was just... We got outcoached. Simply put,
got outcoached.
We got outcoached. The one thing I will say is, and I already said this to Gabe too, it was so hard watching Julian Sand try to throw it as far as he could at the end of that game. And it was literally a meatball 30 yards down the field. Man, that kid is accurate, but he needs to put some muscle on because if he wants to go to the NFL, he can't be throwing the ball 30 yards in the air.
I saw him throw some great deep balls. I feel like he just got rattled, bro.
Yeah, I feel like it was just
that was weird, bro.
He's just trying to
there was a couple of those where the ball just looked so weird. It was just floating there, and it was just going straight up, going nowhere. But yeah, I don't have too much to say about that game. It was such a low scoring, just defensive battle. And we just, like you said, Gabe, I mean, there's really not much to say other than I think that they just simply got out-coached, man. I really do.
Yeah, Jerry, what's your takeaway from that game, brother?
I feel like the out-coaching part is truth to a certain degree. I feel like our offense is completely too reliant on Julian Sand and Jeremiah Smith's connection. Like I feel like there's a lot of times where we have sustained drives because they have like completions, but when we don't get the ball completed to Jeremiah Smith, the drives kind of stall. I also feel like it's a lot of execution as well. I mean, the DBs did not play well. I feel like the number 13, I forget who his name was, but my roommate said it before the game. The only person that could beat us is number 13, and he did. Um,
Yeah, he's gross. That's Elijah Surratt. He's
Elijah
nasty.
Surratt, yes. He is
He's
very,
nasty.
very good. But also, the fourth down play call, I feel like the fourth down play calls should have been flipped, right? You know how Julian Sane got the quarterback sneak the
Mm-hmm.
first play call, and then the second play
Yep.
call was a field goal, right? The first play call, right? You're down 7. Julian saying you decide to go for a QB sneak that didn't work a couple of weeks ago against I forget who it was, but there was a play where like Julian saying didn't get a QB sneak. If you kick that ball, it's you're down 4, and I get it. Like you're still down. It gives you a lot more confidence than staying down 7 and having to get another stop. And then the fact that Julian Sane did miss that second kick made sure that there was no hope at all.
Or
Like,
fielding. Fielding.
yeah, whoever, I don't even care, bro. You're
Yeah,
not
we
good
don't like
enough.
Buddy.
You're
We
not
don't
good
like Buddy.
enough, bro. Play better, please. Like I'm begging you. The same thing against Michigan last year. Like these are chip shots, 20 less than 30-yard field goals in a big spot. Like I get it. It's a huge spot. You're in Indiana. The crowd's going crazy. You have one job, essentially. One job. Put it through some uprights, man.
You
So
I
brought
want to. On a side note, I want to say last week I did bring up how I was worried. I'm not saying I'm a prophet, and I said we were going to lose, but I definitely was worried, and they showed me why I should be worried. I also
yeah.
might be the only person I feel like on this earth that actually was okay with us trying to kick the field goal in that situation, and here's why. Jaden Fielding, I will say first, I don't like him. I don't like him, but still, I did have massive confidence in him to make a 20, what was it,
I
27
think it
yarder?
was a 26 or 27 yard.
27 yarder. I also had confidence in our defense at the time heavily. I think if we went for it there in that situation and we don't get it, especially because we're getting outmatched on the offensive side of things, every time we get into that red zone that game, it wasn't going well. And it wasn't a 4th and 1, it was a 4th and 2. That's the spot where it's like, do we go play action? Do we run? Do we try and do a short pass? It's not just like, oh, we're just going to run this up the gut and I have 2 yards guaranteed. My thought process was we kicked that 3. I thought we were going to make that 3, and then we trust the defense. The defense had 2 minutes to get a stop and either, give your team a shot to get a field goal at the end of that game again, or you go into overtime. I think everybody was being heavily hindsight 2020 on that, being the wrong decision. I get being aggressive, but in a game where the other team has 13 points and you have 10 points, I am not mad about you kicking a field goal in that situation.
I think you have to kick that field goal every time.
Yeah, I agree. My beef is not with Ryan
No,
Hill
yeah.
making a bad play
That's
call.
what I'm
It's
saying.
Jaden Fielding for missing a fucking chip
That's
shot.
what I'm saying when it's more about execution because, like, essentially, that's a great play call. That's a good play call. You do need
I
points,
agreed
but
with it.
it's just a poorly executed 27-yard field goal attempt.
I agreed with it, but everybody I was watching the game with was like, bro, you have to go for that. Like, before they kicked the field goal, they thought it was even going to miss. And I'm
Dom,
like,
it's okay,
no.
man.
No, you gotta-
Woosah, Dom, woosah.
Woosah!
Knock down a 25-yarder, but I tell you what, you can have the biggest leg in the world, and if you can't kick when the lights are
Hey,
bright,
Listen, I forget who said it, or if like I watched it on TikTok or Instagram. College game day students are kicking 35-yard field goals,
Yep.
and they're making them.
Stop playing! And there's
Like,
so much pressure in those moments.
so
too.
much pressure,
Some
Yeah,
of
bro.
those kids
for
knock them down.
a couple $100,000 to a broke college kid. Like,
No, but you got to think
Massive pressure.
$250,000 to a broke college kid is more pressure than
No,
to
I'm-
Then the dude
that
who
kid.
kicked field
To that
goals
kid.
for life.
No,
Because Fielding still knows that he can go out and just like keep kicking. He can be in the NFL if he's consistent.
shit,
The
he might.
dude
What
that
pissed me off, I
I
actually want to post this as a clip on Instagram and put it in contrast. Jaden, did y'all see the thing pregame where he was kicking from like the field, the goalpost? You know how it goes this way, obviously? He kicked one
from
from
the
this
side,
side
from the
over
side,
and
and he
he
made
smacked
it.
right. Bro!
And then somebody was like, "Yeah." They
From
thought
the
she was locked
side.
in. Oh my
And you
goodness.
sank a 27-yard chip shot
That's what I'm
into
saying.
Yucatan.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
But you can hit the fucking side of the uprights
You can kick the ball
on
60 yards
purpose?
as far as you want, but if you can't kick it accurately when the lights are on, it doesn't matter.
And see, the thing is, that happens in the Big Ten championship game. What confidence do you give Ryan Day going into any playoff game that you could kick a 35-yard field goal and make it?
All right, let's get off of this. I'm done with it, bro. I'm
I was
done.
gonna say
Our rant is over. Our rant's
I'm done
over.
with it. So the rest of the stuff we got. Oh, first, wait, because I am on Hate Watch. Sharon Moore. Let's all throw him up.
Wait, hold on.
Sharon
Bye.
Moore.
You know what I just saw about him?
Sharon Moore.
Bye, Sharon Moore.
Bro, he's detained currently by police.
Huh?
He was?
He's currently detained. I just saw that report. I don't exactly know.
For what, though?
Bro, it said they fired him for cause, but they didn't say what cause. If he's in jail right now, that would be
It says was detained. Hold on. I just had damn it.
Sharon.
Well, he got fired for an inappropriate relationship with somebody in the organization. Detained. Okay. Detained. It doesn't
What's
really.
he doing in Michigan, bro?
What is
Detained.
he doing?
Going on her Urban Meyer stuff right now.
Investigation and potential charges. So very on the surface, but he is currently detained.
Hey, we'll see what happens. I didn't even want to be on too much of a hate watch, but I had to. I'm sorry. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to say we sent him into getting fired.
Hey, goodbye.
But, Sharon, enjoy LinkedIn, buddy.
Sharon, seek the Lord, Sharon.
Take your millions
right.
and go do something else.
Oh, yeah, he's got his millions still.
Go hang out with Hudson, bro.
No. So we're finally getting some more news out of the MLB. So we haven't talked about MLB since the World Series a lot, but a lot of stuff happened actually this week. Some people are getting signed, people are getting traded, top prospects going other places. We had a decent amount of stuff happen. But what we're going to talk about here. So what happened today? Pete Alonso, perennial all-star slugger for the Mets, 40-plus homers practically every year. Some of the most pop in the league, sends them very deep. Went to the Baltimore Orioles. Jerry, did you actually see this today?
Okay. All right. No, I did not, but as long as you didn't say the Dodgers, or the Yankees, I was perfectly fine. I was waiting for it for sure. No, the Baltimore Orioles are a good team, and not going to lie, I feel like he needed a change of scenery. I don't watch baseball nearly as much as these two, but I know Pete Alonso is essentially,
oh, yeah, all
extended his time.
Name, Jerry, you know him.
Yeah, but I think it's very good that, and Baltimore was good last year, were they not?
That's last year. They actually underperformed.
Really?
Yeah, the year before they were great.
Okay,
and
the
they
before
kept
they were great.
kind of the same core. But this last year, something just wasn't right. They had their starting pitchers were kind of hurt for the majority of the year.
Okay.
And then Adley Rutschman kind of had a down year. But the reason why it's not a big deal that Adley Rutschman had a down year is because they have the best catching prospect in baseball, most likely, in Samuel Basallo, who's right behind Adley Rutschman. So the Orioles can actually, if Adley doesn't even work out, trade him for a bag to somebody else and get help somewhere else for their baseball teams.
Yeah.
But Pete Alonso to the Orioles. Dom, you know all the players on there. You know who they got. Do you think that significantly elevates them back into their kind of contending again?
I mean, I thought the Orioles would be back this next year regardless, just because they have a lot.
Yeah.
Is really young. So adding someone experienced like Pete Alonso is going to be huge for them, I think.
And Grayson Rodriguez was gone, I think, what? Was it all of last
He
year?
was
Did he
gone a
play a
lot.
single game?
What's his name was out forever too.
It's not,
Who am I thinking?
crap, bro.
You know exactly
I
who I'm.
know exactly who you're talking about, but I
He was
can't
tough
remember his
when
name right now,
he
bro.
pitched this year. He was good, but then he just didn't play.
You're not talking about Dean Kramer. You're not
No,
talking about Dean Kramer. It's a different guy, bro. Let me look this up because it's like at the tip of my tongue
no,
right now, but I
bro.
can't. Bro, Fran is probably chomping at the bit right now watching this. Kyle Bradish. Kyle
Yeah,
Bradish. You're thinking about Kyle Bradish, bro.
he did. Yeah,
Kyle Bradish, and then as well, I think Felix Bautista also wasn't playing for them
he
either, right?
he played a little bit, but he got hurt like halfway through the year. So
Yeah, so they had tons of injuries, but their hitting is going to be phenomenal next year. Like,
yeah,
you got Pete
good.
Alonso there, you got Rutschman there, you got Basalo there, you got Westberg there, you got Colton Cowser there, who's young. Like, you
Gunner.
have Gunner. Like, I didn't even say
Holiday.
Gunner, and Gunner
Jack,
had a down year last year too. Jackson
Jack,
Holiday, like, bro, they got hoopers, man. They got hoopers. So Pete Alonso to the Orioles, that's huge for them. They didn't have like first base issues, so to speak. Like they had Ryan O'Hearn and Ryan Mountcastle, and they would both
oh,
do the jobs.
I was gonna say it's
They
not.
both are kind of like Dollar Tree Pete Alonsos, to be
Right.
honest. They're going to hit probably about 240, 250, hit you a lot of homers, but we know Pete is going to be better at bringing guys home as well. Pete's going to get way more RBIs than Ryan O'Hearn and Ryan Mountcastle could get because he's Pete Alonso. So that was the big news from today for the MLB. And now this is a couple days ago, and this one makes me sad. Jerry, I'm about to frustrate you because
This
you
one was
probably didn't
huge.
even hear it.
Oh, I already heard about this.
Yeah, Edwin Diaz to the Dodgers. I'm gonna try my best not to turn this into a Dodgers hate thing because we could go off on a whole other tangent
No, I
about how
can.
the
I
Dodgers
don't
have the
care.
most money and the Dodgers get all the best players. But the thing is, to me, I'll just make my. We can each get a side nugget about this actually before we start about Edwin actually going to the Dodgers. I think personally that other baseball teams have owners that have practically just as much money as the Dodgers, and they could go spend and try and get people. The biggest draw, though, that changes everything is that the Dodgers are in LA, bro. Like, people want to. Not only do the Dodgers have all this money, but they're also in LA. So it just naturally attracts more people. For the hint of, am I angry at the Dodgers? No. Because teams spend tons of money still. Like the Mets last year, they didn't even make the playoffs. And I think they spent I think more than the Dodgers. I might need to be checked on that if anybody's
No,
listening. But they
like
spent,
Mets had the most expensive team. I'm pretty sure last year.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they're the most expensive team on a salary basis for last season, and they didn't even make the playoffs. So at this point, as much as I hate that the Dodgers continuously get great players, they're getting the job done. And that doesn't always happen with teams that have the best players. They don't always get the job done and win the championship. It's not always how it is. But they get it done.
It's just that
As a
these teams
person,
that are.
yeah.
I was just gonna say it's just that these teams that are in marketable cities just will always have the guys that go out and spend the money. It's just the New York
How it
teams,
is.
the Dodgers, you have the Rangers, just like in that, like all these teams will go out and spend money. So that's why the Pete Alonso move was so refreshing, bro. I feel like everybody
It
kind of
was. I
Yeah.
love that move,
that's kind
bro.
of fun. Like that. That's how it should. That's how baseball should be. You shouldn't just be like, oh, every great player they're either going to the Yankees, Mets, or Dodgers. It shouldn't be that way. So, in terms of the Edwin Diaz move, though, that
Insane move.
is huge for them.
Insane,
Because
bro.
just like when you think about the Dodgers and how dominant they are, the one thing that you could probably have said about their team,
They didn't have a master
they didn't have
closer.
closer, and now you cannot say that anymore because they just picked up a top 3 closer in the MLB. If not one, if not the best.
So
Like
he's
Edwards the best.
debatably the best
He
to
just had
some people.
another insane season this past year. I know he had a down year the year before, but Edwin Diaz, we know Edwin Diaz is very elite. So for them to add him to that team is just crazy because now the Dodgers don't really have any holes. So
Oh, not a single one.
I don't understand the competitiveness in a lot of people these days. Like, why are you consistently stacking up a team that already won a championship? It's literally like the Warriors, and that's one of the reasons why I stopped watching basketball as much is because you know what's going to happen. You know the teams that are going to be in contention. The thing about the NFL that makes it so great, nobody thought the Colts were going to be here. Nobody thought the Broncos were going to be here. Nobody thought the Chargers were going to be as good as they were. You didn't think the Chiefs were going to be as bad as they were. Now it
Yeah,
doesn't even
it's
matter
been a
in
complete
baseball.
toss up.
It's literally just, and I get it. Like if I'm in the LA office, kudos to them. They're doing an amazing job at their jobs, and they're obviously running probably the best franchise in the league right now. It's just literally, it makes no sense because, like you guys said, owners have, they're in similar tax brackets. It's not like these owners just don't have the
They're all
money.
billionaires. They're
They
all
don't
major
yeah.
billionaires.
want to spend their money,
You're right.
and they just think that, oh, people who are fans are just going to come out anyway, no matter who we put on the field. These teams aren't going to keep the loyalty of these players, and sadly, they're just going to go for bags because they aren't getting tossed enough with their teams. Like Ellie, I'm in Cincinnati. Ellie is a legend here. Ellie De La Cruz,
Bro,
everybody loves
every
him.
single Reds jersey is that black Cincy Ellie jersey.
Yeah.
But
that
it's
they
just
have.
everywhere.
Everybody has it. Bro.
Everywhere you go, and all the people you talk to is like, we love Ellie. We just know he's not going to be here for long because Cincinnati doesn't want to pay him.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's going to go to one of the big markets. He's going to have an excellent career. He's going to make a lot of money. Like,
Bro, the baseball is it's so conflicting because yes, I know Gabe has said this before too. Like you have, like you said, you have all these owners. They're all billionaires, multi-billionaires. Like you can afford players. But here's the thing: when you actually think about it, if there was a salary cap in the MLB, the Dodgers would not be able to have the team that they have. The Mets would
no,
not.
absolutely not.
They have. The Yankees would not. So regardless of whether these teams are going out spending money, it's like, well, these teams wouldn't even be able to be assembled if there was a cap because there's too many good players making too much money.
I tried so hard not to make it a salary cap discussion. It's so hard to not.
No,
but that's where
because
everybody's
so
mind goes.
We don't even have to go down that route, but
I honestly,
That's where everybody's mind goes every time about the Dodgers because it is frustrating. It is frustrating, but they're hacking the fucking game, and that's why I'm like, at this point, I'm not even gonna hate them anymore. I'm just gonna respect it. That
It's
doesn't
just,
mean I have to enjoy
the
baseball
team's
and
going to be
everything.
great.
It's purely for a fan enjoyment perspective is why everybody gets so frustrated. Because, like, you want to see good playoff battles. And in baseball, that's supposed to be what it's all about, bro. Like, there is a reason that the Yankees haven't been making it to the World Series every freaking year, even though they have some of the best players every freaking year. And it's because baseball is a battle. But the Dodgers just cracked the code, bro. Like, they got it.
they have
And if
Ohtani.
you like
got it.
going off of last year, bro, the fact that the Blue Jays made the championship series an actual series, people
baseball
love
is
that.
still open.
People
Baseball
love
is still
that.
open. But
It's
the
just
Dodgers,
and you either sacrifice, and I get it. Like this is probably one of the best baseball teams ever assembled. I understand wanting to watch that from a fan's perspective. Literally every other fan hates it. And if you scatter around this talent and stuff like that, the league would be much more competitive. A lot more people wouldn't be tripping about a salary cap. It's just like the thing about a salary cap is you can't compete with cities like LA or states with no state tax. Like you can't compete when you have small markets like Cleveland, Cincy.
I agree with that.
the city is the difference, and that you can't. That's the other reason why you can't be mad at the Dodgers for it. They're just located in
half
LA,
the time people don't.
Like,
half the time people don't want to deal with
LA.
snow. Like people don't want to deal with snow, so they stay south. Like it's just some locations just better.
And then before we go on to UFC recap as well, which we're about to do here now, I was also going to say a quick shout out to the superstars that did not leave their respective franchises and go to a different team. Kyle Schwarber, 5 years, $150 million with the Phillies, and then Bo Bichette also returned to the Blue Jays.
I mean, the Phillies are also a super team too. So, but at least you didn't blow ship. I see what you're saying, man.
Yeah, exactly. But also just because like Kyle Schwarber is such a likable player. I love Kyle Schwarber. You can't not love Kyle Schwarber. So I'm happy he stayed in Philly, and I'm happy Bo Bichette stayed in Toronto as well. So as more moves happen, we'll talk more about baseball as well. There were some other things that happened this last week too, but those were like the big hitters, the great players that signed new deals, stayed, went elsewhere, etc. UFC 323. Now that was not how I expected the card to go.
No, that was
I went half of the picks last week on this pod off of vibes, half of them what I actually thought. But from what I actually thought, it still did not go the way I expected. Um, First fight here we'll cover. So we had Marab versus Pewter Yan, and I want to talk about this one first. And me and Dom both talked about it plenty on the phone too, because we love UFC. Pewter Yan was so dominant. He absolutely masterclassed Marab.
he did.
And I'll let you take it from there, bro.
Yeah, I was honestly sitting there almost mouth open the whole time. I was like shocked at how well Pewter was stuffing the takedowns, defending anything, and also those body shots that Pewter was throwing at Marab.
Ooh.
Oh my god, dude. He had Marab literally wincing in pain. You could almost hear him screaming from the octagon. Like Pewter, that was an absolute masterclass, and that honestly, Pewter is. I did not think Pewter was going to win at all. I wanted Pewter to win. I like Pewter. I wanted Pewter to win.
Agreed.
I did not win. So I did, but what I did think is that he is the only fighter skilled all around enough to give Marab a run for his money, and that's exactly what he did. Now, Marab has fought 4 times this year, so that is like the one thing where it's like you've seen where these champions. We saw it with Alex Pereira. He defended 4 times, and once you defend so many times, you kind of it wears on you a little bit. You fight 4 times in a year; that's a lot. Now, I'm not going to knock Pewter whatsoever because he showed up and he fought the best fight that I think anybody could fight. I think that they're definitely going to get a rematch. There's going to be a third fight between them.
They have to rematch for sure.
Yeah, they got a rematch. So I mean, shout out Pewter because like we said, bro, you couldn't have played that any better. And what's crazy too is he wasn't only defending the takedowns, he was the one finishing the takedowns. Like he was taking Marab down, and I don't think many people saw that coming at all.
Yeah, he absolutely masterclassed him. Had Marab in the ambulance, fresh off the fight, straight to the ambulance with Aljo, and Aljo's guys freaking. What do you have? He had some Don Julio or something in the ambulance. Yeah, he had some Don in there or something with Marab. Jerry, did you tune into any of the fights that went down here, or did you?
I did.
It was late.
No, I did. I was. We had people over for something. We had people over for the OSU game, and then they decided to stay.
Yeah, fights were.
And then I realized that the fights were on, so I put on a couple of fights. You guys were absolutely wrong on Marab. Like, I can never trust you guys again.
So
on these
wrong.
takes. Like, I feel like I just got nothing to what I was expecting. Marab was getting his face pounded. Like you said, the body shots were like affecting him. He had a broken nose. Like, there were a lot of different things going wrong with Marab there. But I will say the fight before that was very, very good as well. I forget who it was.
That was Joshua Van versus Pam.
Yeah, Van. Now I remember because Van was like, he was good, man. Yeah, no. But Pewter Yan, whatever his name is, he definitely did a whole lot of stuff y'all didn't expect him to do. So I guess I gotta start looking up Pewter Yan and see what the fuck he's about.
Pewter Yan was one of those people, Jerry, who in the UFC a lot, guys will have like peak runs for a while, and then they'll just have a couple years where they're not the same for a little bit and then come back up. And that's what Pewter's kind of story was. Pewter, he was on the up, he was competing for a world title, and then, he loses to O'Malley when he probably beat O'Malley. He has the situation where he loses to Aljamain Sterling with an illegal knee. All these things just piled up, and like Pewter ascended what people even thought he was before. That's what is so impressive is that Pewter had that run where people thought it was his peak damn near, and then he fell off a little bit, and he ascended what people thought he could even be.
Yeah.
And like he's such like that was just awesome. For the Joshua Van fight, that was a first round KO for Joshua Van. I actually didn't even. That was at a time I didn't even catch what happened during that. Like I got up for a few minutes and it was just done. So it was Pantoja's ankle got injured, correct?
Yeah. No, his arm.
What was it that got Pantoja got hurt?
He like
his arm.
Bro, he did something terrible to his arm. I don't know what he did. That was sad, man. Because for a champion who's been so dominant to go out on a fall that breaks your arm is just a sad way to go.
What a bittersweet situation, because Van is on the complete other side of it.
Right.
Where he is a 24-year-old UFC champion.
Dude, first champion to be born in the 2000s. Shout out.
Like, he's our age.
Wow.
Yeah, bro.
That's a stat.
And he was, like I said, unranked last year, bro. And he's already a champion. Like, and I do believe in Joshua Van, but they got to run it back for sure. There's not even much to be said about that fight. I mean, honestly, they landed 8 total strikes.
I think that Pantoja hurt himself so bad that Van might have to defend his title against someone else first. I think Pantoja is going to be out for a little bit. I
don't see how he can come back in like 4 months after.
He has to have a reserved chance at the belt again. When he
he will
for sure.
And he might be out for 6 to 8 months. I don't know what his timeline is, but that injury was gruesome. It was like a gruesome.
That's one thing about Dana, though. Dana's always going to make sure people have their opportunities. Like, he's never going to shy away. Like, if he feels like you should be the champion, he's going to give you that fight.
Bro, that Marab hopped out of the cage and he was talking to Dana, and he's like, "Yeah, we'll get you fixed up and get you back in there." Like, he knows.
Yeah.
He knows. And then also as well for the next one, we had 2 other master classes happen as well. And that was Tatsuro Taira against Brandon Moreno and Peyton Talbot versus Henry Cejudo. In those 2 fights, Tatsuro Taira, he did a lot better than I expected, and that was no disrespect to Tatsuro Taira, but he absolutely dogged Brandon Moreno. The total, I know stats don't show the whole story, but Tatsuro Taira, 45 total strikes out of 65. Moreno, 9 total strikes, and that was going halfway into round 2. For Taira, 28 of those were significant strikes, and he also took down Brandon Moreno, absolutely dominated him in the wrestling of that match as well. So that was domination for Taira. And Peyton Talbot versus Henry Cejudo. That was one, too, where I was like, is Talbot going to sink back into his habits, or is he going to come back and do something spectacular? And he came back and did something spectacular. Cejudo's done now, but still, he was still competent, right? Cejudo was no slouch. He still didn't get slept. He didn't get put out. He didn't get put to sleep.
Dude,
he just kind of stuck around there, and Peyton Talbot just beat him up for 15 minutes.
I was going to say, respect to Cejudo, bro. He was taking an absolute ass whooping, and he just wanted to keep coming back, bro.
Keep coming back.
For somebody that was so high at the top, a double champion, and he didn't win a single fight in his second stint, which is just, it's sad, but he's just, he's old. But yeah, dude, shout out Peyton Talbot. He is going to be a force to be reckoned with going forward for sure.
And he had 160 total strikes as well. Within that was a 3-round fight. It's not even a 5-round fight.
Shit, Henry.
So he's getting over 50 every round.
Dana and said, "This kid just beat my ass." Like,
I seen that.
You see that clip game?
Yeah, and he mixes it up so well. Like, so Cejudo was one of the picks that was kind of a vibes pick last week when we were going on the predictions, and the same goes for Van, even though Van actually won. But Peyton Talbot, I did, after we did the pod, I talked to some of my buddies as well that also love UFC. Y'all know who you are if you're watching. And he brought up a valid point of what the young guys absorb information so quickly if you're really legit. And Peyton Talbot got the vibe of he was really legit prior to him losing that one. And then he picked, just like I said, just picked up right where he left off. Like, sometimes those young guys, it's not always going to be they're undefeated. Sometimes they kind of need that loss to bring them back down to earth. show them what they need to learn because there are people that are more legit than them out there, and then reapply that and get back to it. And Peyton Talbot did that. His striking heavily improved. He was still great on the ground like he always is, and he brought that same swagger that he did before that loss happened. So the UFC card was amazing, and then the last one on the main card was a tie between Jan Blachowicz and Guskov. Now, I actually did not watch that one. So if you watched that one, Dom, you go ahead. I wanted to watch it because I love Jan. Jan, did he get hoed again?
He did, bro. He did because they were okay. He won the first round, and the reason that it turned to a tie is because they gave Guskov, right? Guskov. He gave him they gave him a 10-8 round in the second round, which I don't agree with whatsoever at all. Because
for how the stats look like without me looking at it. So crazy,
Jan he won one of the scores. He went 29-28, and then the other two are 28-28. So he, to me, won the first and third round, and the fact that they gave it a 10-8 second round was crazy. It was really just like he knocked him down, and then they were on the ground the rest of the time. Which, I mean, I feel like when you get a 10-8
that's not a 10-8.
I was going to say a 10-8 round is you're either knocking a guy down multiple times or Jan didn't even get a punch off type thing. Like, it was not like that. So I thought that's, once again, they did my man dirty. And Jan is still proving that he is very elite at 42 years
I said
old.
he's not washed yet. He's 42 and he's not washed yet. I've been getting that vibe.
Good. And guess what? That last dude, he was this close. If he had 5 more seconds, he might have stopped the fight. He knocked Guskov down in the last 10 seconds and started giving him mitts on the ground, and then it was over. So Jan is a dog.
I'm so tired of how they're doing my man Jan.
I would 100% say they did Jan dirty again. So crazy.
I'm tired of it.
And I think a lot of people.
Which ones did you get to tune into, by the way, too, after the OSU game? So did you catch, like, the final 2 of them? Did you catch both of the championship ones?
Yeah.
Dude, the championship fights were still... That was where, it was their money was
really crazy. I did not expect 2 new champions to come out, I'll tell you that.
No, I did not either. Especially because the ones were so dominant.
I'll say the last thing about the UFC is they're, at the end of this year, since the fights are over now, not a single one of the UFC champions right now have defended their title. Not a single one of them. They're all new.
Wow.
No throughout the whole... Because think about it. Islam moved up. Ilya moved up. And then most of the rest of them are new champs. Tom Aspinall didn't fight all year. The rest of them are all new champs, bro. Crazy.
Yeah. Wow. All right, y'all. We're going to end it off on that little nugget. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the episode. I just burped. Excuse me. I will say, for all of us on the pod, does it feel better when we're not doing a game breakdown too? I do like just shooting the shit with you guys. You know what I mean? We get to cover some more topics.
The time is still the same, though, which is mind-boggling for me.
It is, but we're going to split them up. I
feel like have videos stuff to talk about this week than normally.
So. Yeah, we had a lot more topics this week,
and we did. There's not normally this many topics in a week, man. We had a lot of stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed Deep in the Bleachers, episode 9, everybody. And then we will see y'all for the next week. Put them up.
We can't do the devil salute, okay?
Peace.